If you're experiencing exam anxiety and are undergoing a lot of stress due to the upcoming exams, then you need to know two things. Number one, you're not alone. And number two, it is natural. Yes, anxiety, stress is natural. It is the body's response, the body's reaction to a challenge, to a threat. Whenever the body perceives a situation as challenging, as an attack to its survival, the body goes into the stress mode, into the anxiety mode, which is the body's way of surviving and saving itself from that threat. So we perceive exams as a threat, we perceive exams as a challenge, and that is the reason for all the anxiety and the stress. Now, when we are anxious, what happens is not only your body goes into the stress mode, it also affects your brain's learning capacity and the brain's ability to focus and concentrate. So when you're stressed, you're anxious, it impedes your learning as well. So what is the way out? The way out is simple. There are some very simple tips, simple techniques that can make this entire journey of your exams and studying very flawless and a great experience. So I would be sharing these tips today with all of you, and this video might be a longer video, but I would request you to stay till the end, because every single tip that I'm going to share today with you will help you tackle this problem of anxiety and stress, which seems to get the better of you every single time you are facing exams. So to start off with, first we need to understand, is it possible for us to eliminate anxiety entirely? The answer is no. Recent research and studies have revealed that a little bit of anxiety is actually good for your memory, and it helps you memorize and understand your subjects better. So the idea here is not to eliminate anxiety, but to reduce it to a level where that anxiety can actually help you learn better, memorize better. So the very first step is you need to understand what is exactly worrying you. So ask yourself this question: what is exactly worrying me about the upcoming exams? Is it the fear of not scoring well? Is it the fear of not scoring enough to be able to get into a university or a college of your choice or your parents' choice? Is it that there is a fear that you are not prepared really well? Or do you feel there is too much to do and too little time for you? Or is it that there is a fear because previously you have not been scoring well in your unit exams or your school exams, and you have a fear that you might fail? So there could be many reasons which might be worrying you for the upcoming exams. So to begin with, you need to understand, you need to ask yourself, what is it that is worrying me? And write down all the things that seem to be worrying you. And the next step would be, write it on a sheet of paper, take the sheet of paper with you and burn that paper and tell yourself, all my worries have now been destroyed and all is well. So what we are doing here is we are giving a signal to our mind, to our brain, that there is nothing to worry about and that I have taken out all the worries from your system and I have burnt them and that all is well. So that is how you're preparing your mind to stay calm. This is the first step. So tip number 2 is your study environment. How is the study environment? And when I say environment, I mean the physical environment where you're sitting and studying. Do you have a study table? And if you have a study table, is there enough natural light there? Is it close to a window? Is there enough ventilation in the room where you're studying? And are you studying on a bed or a sofa? If yes, then please stop doing it, because the mind associates a bed and a sofa with relaxation, and so it will be very difficult for you to focus and concentrate and remember things if you're sitting on a sofa and a bed and studying. So it is important that you study in an environment that keeps you alert and focused, and the best way is to have a study table and a chair. And preferably it should be near a window in a room which is well ventilated, which is well lit. There is enough natural light there. In case if you don't have access to a window or there is not enough natural light in your room, then you can replicate that with an artificial light which is as close to the natural light. You should not be studying in glaring bright lights. So what else can we add in our physical environment to feel more relaxed and chilled? Buy some plants. Yes, plants have a soothing effect on our mind. Studies have always revealed for so many years that plants naturally relieves stress and makes us feel calmer. So get some natural plants, indoor plants, in your study room, on your study table, and they will have a calming effect, soothing effect on your mind while you're studying, and that helps you focus and concentrate also better. What else can we add in the physical environment? Classical music. Yes, classical music seems to have a very, very relieving effect on your mind. It relieves your stress even if you're not listening to it consciously. If it is playing in the background at a very low volume, it will naturally calm your mind. So these are some tips that will make the study environment conducive to staying focused and learning better. Tip number 3, study well in advance. Yes, because the more you are prepared, the less anxious and stressed you would feel during the exam time. So if there are concepts or subjects that you're not very comfortable with and you do not understand them well, you're not able to comprehend them well, it is always a good idea that you get them clarified with your teachers, sit with your teachers, your professors, or a student, a fellow student who is good at the subject, and get the concepts clear the moment you're introduced to them. The more regular you are during the semester in your studies, and the more regularly you keep clearing the concepts that you're introduced to, the more prepared you would be during the examination time, and the less anxiety and stress you would feel. Not only that, it would also increase your confidence, which is very essential during exams. Tip number 4, you need to take frequent breaks when you are studying. I have seen students studying for as long as 18 to 20 hours continuously, such long hours of studying, and then they go and take their exam and they do not score well, and they feel really bad and they start questioning their learning ability, and oh my God, I prepared so well, I didn't sleep the entire night, I studied for 20 long hours and here I am, I did not do well. What's wrong? Why did this happen? The reason this happened is because your mind, your body has not been designed to sit and study continuously for long hours. Research has shown that our mind is alert for 90 minutes, and after that the alertness level goes down for 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, and then again the alertness level of the mind increases for the next one and a half hours. That is how the body has been designed. So what you need to do is you need to schedule your study time according to your body's level of alertness. So study for 1 hour to 90 minutes and then take a break of 15 to 30 minutes. That is ideal for effective learning. Now what do you do during these 15 to 30 minutes break? Please stay away from your mobiles and social media during these breaks, because then it is not going to help you. So there are a couple of things that you can do during these breaks. The best thing that you can do is take a power nap, because when you take a power nap for 15 to 20 minutes, not only will it rest your mind and refresh your body as well as your mind, it will also help process all the information that you've been putting in your brain. It will process that information, organize it, and it will store it properly in your memory. So it will help you later on to retrieve that information during exams. So power naps are very, very effective and very powerful, and that's why they're called power naps. What else can you do during these breaks? You can go for a stroll or a run outside. Please go outside for some time in natural light, natural sunshine, go out in nature. Go out in nature, because nature will again calm you down, and it will help process all the information and store and organize in your brain. This is what it does. Or you can play a sport, your favorite sport. If you love badminton, basketball, whatever you love, just go and play it for 15-20 minutes outdoors. The more outdoors you go, the better it is for you. Or take a power nap. But don't indulge in watching television or chit-chatting with your friends and calling them and asking them, okay, how much did you cover? Oh my God, I did not do this, because that will stress you even more. So don't get there. Tip number 5. Now this is something that not most of the students do, and that is study one subject at a time. I have seen students studying 4 or 5 subjects one after the other. They study one subject for 1 hour, then next hour they are studying some other subject, next hour they are studying the third subject. So what is happening right now? You are confusing your mind and you're mixing things up. You're confusing your mind. वो कहते हैं ना खिचड़ी बन जाती है, तो you're making a खिचड़ी in your mind. So what is happening is it's like a disorganized closet. आपका cupboard है, आपका कपड़ों का cupboard है, and you're putting clothes recklessly in that cupboard, not organizing them. You're putting your trousers, you're putting your t-shirts, everything all together. You're not organizing it properly, and that's what's happening when you're studying multiple subjects together. So study one subject at a time. Say for example, you have 20 days for your preparation and say 5 subjects. So what you need to do here is divide the number of days by the number of subjects. So 20 divided by 5, it gives you 4 days per subject. And for those 4 days, study only one subject. And then it's up to you to decide how many hours you need to study so that you can complete the entire syllabus. It's all up to you, but don't forget to study taking frequent breaks, as I mentioned earlier in the earlier tip. This is called organized learning. Why organized? Because when you're studying one subject at a time, so it is like folding all your trousers and putting it in one section of your closet, and then next 4 days you're studying the second subject. So it's like folding all your t-shirts and your dresses and you're putting in the second shelf. So when you want to retrieve your clothes, it becomes easier for you to retrieve and recall where I have kept my trousers. Okay, the trousers are in the second shelf, retrieve it. Okay, the t-shirts are in the third shelf, retrieve it. So that's exactly what happens when you're studying, when you study one subject at a time. It is called, I call it organized learning. The more organized your learning is, the easier is the recall and retrieval of that information. So when you sit in the exam, your mind knows exactly where I have stored all the material, physics material, where is the maths material, where is the chemistry material. So the retrieval becomes very, very effortless. So organized learning not only helps easy retrieval, it helps memorizing also easier. So get into the habit of sticking to only one subject at a time, because our mind has not been designed to multitask. It is meant to focus only on one thing at a time. Another thing that I want to add here is, how do you study so that you can memorize well and you can retrieve and recall well when you have to write the exam. You don't forget anything. The best way is to practice test. Take the previous year's question papers and attempt that test every day. Every day you do it during your preparatory holiday. So what is happening is, you are priming your mind to recall that information over and over again. So what practice testing does, it helps organize the material in the mind even better. And the more you recall, the more you would retain. So it is important to get into the habit of practice testing. And second is flashcards. This is something that I also used to do as a student, and I was a good student. There were certain concepts that were difficult to remember. So what I used to do is, I used to take a card, a small card. On one side of the card, I used to write the concept, what is this concept, and on the back side of the card I would write a small definition of that concept. In fact, I used to summarize some important chapters and write the summary on the flashcard and the name of the chapter on the other side of the flashcard. How these flashcards can help you is, just a day before the exam, you have completed all your revision, you have studied everything, keep the flashcards handy and go through all the flashcards so that you get to revise the most important concepts effectively in less time, because then you don't have to look for the books, you don't have to go through the books, okay, where was that concept, where do I go back? That will increase your stress. So it is always good to keep the important concepts handy in the form of flashcards. Tip number 6 is self-care. Yes, you have to take care of your physical and mental well-being. You have to form a habit of eating the right foods. You have to form a habit of exercising regularly, because that will keep your body fit, your mind will stay fit, your mind will stay positive. So get into the habit of exercising and eating the right foods, fruits, vegetables, eat a lot of sprouts, Drink plenty of water, keep yourself hydrated because that will help you stay alert. Get into the habit. You will have to form these habits way before your exam, way before your preparatory holidays also, because if you have that habit, your mind will automatically stay active and refreshed. So it is very, very important to pay attention to what you're eating. Especially during your exams, please don't eat any junk food. Stick to your fruits, vegetables, lots and lots of water, sprouts, nuts, raisins. There is omega-3 in walnuts, which is very, very good for your memory and your brain. So stick to these kind of foods because this will help you stay calm and focused and energetic. Tip number 7. Now this is something that I always talk about, and many people come up to me and say, okay, everybody knows it. What's the new thing you're talking about? I know many people know about it, but they don't practice it. And there are many people who don't know about it. So here goes. So this is called positive visualization. Now what you have to do here is, again, you have to form a habit of practicing this every day, way before your exams. Even if you start 15-20 days before your exams, it works. Trust me, it works. It's called positive visualization. Now what you have to do is, do it right now with me. I want you to close your eyes. Imagine a place or a situation where you feel relaxed and nurtured. Now this place could be your favorite holiday location, or it could be a situation like your country winning the World Cup when you felt really great. And I want you to go back to that place or that situation right now, keeping your eyes closed, and feel the sensations that you felt then. And as you start feeling those feelings, those beautiful, nice feelings, happy feelings, I want you to flip that image in your mind and see yourself writing the exam in the examination hall. Continue to feel the way you have been feeling. That nice feeling is still there. And as you open the question paper, you see that you know all the questions and you're going to ace those answers. Now open your eyes. So this simple positive visualization, if you practice this every day, what happens is you are now telling your body that exam is not a challenge. It is not a threat. It is something that I'm excited about, and it is something that makes me feel good. So the moment you think about your exam, your mind will now know that this is not a threat. And over time you will see, if you keep practicing this, over time you will see that during exams, you don't feel as anxious and stressed. In fact, you feel excited and more confident and more sure about yourself. Besides positive visualization, I need you to focus on the self-talk that you have with yourself. And be very conscious of how you're talking to yourself. And if you're saying things like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this, I don't think I would be able to score well, I don't think I would be able to crack this exam. If that is a conversation, you need to change that conversation and make a conscious effort to make it positive. Tell yourself, okay, I have done my best, I have worked hard, I have prepared myself well, I am completely prepared for these exams, and I'm going to do a great job at my exams. So if you are talking to yourself positively, your brain is getting a signal, it is getting more assurance from your side, and that will help you feel more confident. It will help you stay more focused. Another thing that you can do is practice deep breathing. I call it abdominal breathing because breathing is something that we all have forgotten. We all breathe very shallow. We need to breathe from our abdomen. We are not even breathing from our lungs. Breathe in, it goes in, the stomach goes in. Breathe out, the stomach comes out. You should feel that breathing from the abdomen. So the more abdominal breathing you practice, the more you will feel relaxed and the lesser stress and lesser anxiety. And now the final tip. No last minute revisions and cramming. Yes, we feel that this is something that will help us, but it actually does the opposite. It will stress us even more, it will make us more anxious, and we might tend to forget while writing the exam. So it is because you need to trust your brain. Your brain has already organized all the information and you have practiced it, and you know whenever you need the information, you would be easily able to retrieve it. So trust your brain, trust your preparation, have the confidence. Don't mug up, don't cram in the last minute just before your exams. Also, it is important for you to keep everything that you need for your exams ready a day before the exams, whether it is your pens, your pencils, your calculator, your water bottle, your student ID card. Keep everything ready a day before the exam. And no discussions before and after the exam with your friends, because this is going to confuse you even more. It is going to stress you even more, and that is something we don't want. So if you form the habit of just staying calm before the exam, practice your deep breathing, do the positive visualization, do the positive self-talk before your exam, and you would be surprised when you sit for the exam, you would be able to ace all the answers like this. And last but not the least, if you still feel anxious and overwhelmed and stressed, don't isolate yourself. Talk to somebody who can help you. So these were some very effective tips which, when practiced, will make the entire experience of preparing for your exams and taking your exams a very good and pleasant experience for you, and you will get the results that you want and expect. So good luck to all of you. Keep smiling and stay happy.